Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy Talk Thursday. That's right. I got the day right. I got the day of the week right. How about it? Must mean some really good stuff is about to happen for the digital asset space. I got the day of the freaking week right. What's going on, fam? Listen, what's going on with the market? What's going on with the market? It's rumor. Word on the street is Solana ETF got approved. And it's incoming to the US. So it got approved in another country. We'll share that later. Looks like it's coming to a place near you in the US as well. Did we forget to talk about the disgorgement issue or part of the SEC versus Ripple? I think we did. I didn't mention it. We'll go over a little bit of some crypto X from Meta Lawman. Hugely important. And we got to talk about this. Operation ChokePoint 2.0 strikes its freaking ugly head again, or rears its ugly head again. Another bank enforcement action for dealing with the digital assets under the guise of not proper KYC and AML. Holy schmokeholes. Yeah, we'll get into that madness as well. Flare Network's got a little XRP testnet reset. We'll talk about that. And which Spark freaking Dex AI should I hop onto? Which one should I hop onto? First, let me do this. What's going on, Pookie Pookie? Byron Lewis is in the building. How are you, bro? Appreciate you checking in. Let the world know, the X world know that we are live. We're live. So let the world know about that. Let's do that real quick. Yeah, all right. Get that out of the way. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's talk that talk Thursday. Byron, yes, sir. It's been a while. It's been a while for sure, guys. Do me a favor and hit that like button. That'll be super, super cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. I feel like, yeah, that's what's up. The brightness wasn't going on. So listen, Solana ETF being approved, I think it's a big deal. In another country, I think it's a big deal. I think it's something that is incoming. By the way, I popped my head outside the XRP bubble again this morning and listened to a very, very interesting interview with a major crypto hedge fund. Some interesting stuff. By the way, have you heard of this app, a messaging app called Sessions? I haven't heard of it. Have you guys heard of it? Let's look it up together. Remind me, Pookie Pookie, to look up Session message app. I'm going to check into that, see what's good. Apparently, it's powered by Web3, and the Web2 dudes using it have zero glue. Isn't that interesting? I got to tell you, Pookie Pookie, I think Flare Networks, the FLR token, I got a feeling about this, bro, but I'm just thinking the realization of it is the following bull run. Not that it won't do its thing here, but it's the following bull run that I think is going to make for some millionaires. I think it's going to make for some millionaires. Listening to this hedge fund guy today, talking to Raoul Paul, not talking about Flare Networks, but talking about layer ones and unique qualities and differentiators and leveraging Web3 technology in the Web2 space. That feels like Flare Networks. Unique and novel technology with the differentiator, leveraging Web3 technology in the Web2 space. That feels like Flare Networks. It really, really does. And they also talked about unique ways or ways to better the ICO, a better version of the ICOs, a better version of what's going on right now with these launch tokens and the high FDB low floats, a better way of doing it. that kind of sounds like the flare drops and the flare emissions. Yes, Pookie Pookie. I remember when we had to use, I wish I would have used the freaking XRP toolkit to get dibs on my flare. I wish I would have used that instead of freaking Celsius. So, in any case, you guys remember that's, I think that's what they're doing with the emissions and the flare drops. It's just a way to think about that idea. Yeah, cash out, cash out the flare drop if you want, but if you want more, you hold on to it and you wrap it to get more. Interesting. And the emissions is kind of that same kind of feel. It's a different and unique way of airdrop. So, you know, they're checking a lot of the right boxes, right? Checking a lot of the right boxes. I don't know. Maybe I'll pull up that interview if I can find the right spot with Raul Paul and the Journeyman. But when I was hearing, the guy speak, I mean, he mentioned other layer ones. He mentioned 2 layer ones, but what he was saying felt like flare to me, Byron Lewis. Felt like flare to me. I don't know. So what's going on with this market right now? I mean, I think I saw BTC at one time was 59,000. You know what made me feel good? It made me feel good that I got some BTC at 50 and I went to 59. If this market is the fastest growing technology, network adoption of technology in the history, and if Bitcoin is including 75% drawdowns, is still having higher highs and higher lows, and JP Morgan and the boys are just bringing their customers into this space, just preparing to bring them in. Yeah. I don't know. Interesting stuff. Byron said I sold. I converted my flare into XRP. I hear you, my guy. I hear you. I hear you. So I think it's very, very interesting. I think it's interesting. I know someone in the community that's taking their flare drops and their dollar cost averaging it into Bitcoin, into BTC. Kind of feeling underweight in the BTC space and the BTC portfolio and decided to do that. I thought that was interesting, little strategy. But this is kind of how I'm feeling about Flare 3, 4, 5 years from now. This is it's just kind of feeling like that. Anyway, I digress. Let's go over this market. Let's see what's good. Let's refresh CoinGecko, Byron. Let's refresh CoinGecko and see what's good. Yeah, it's still 59. All right, so let's share this real quick. We'll check out some assets that are outperforming Bitcoin year to date and see if you have any of them. I mean, it's not enough to just merely be hoped up. You got to know what is going on in the market. What is the market giving you? All right, so here, according to CoinGecko, the total cryptocurrency market cap is up 6.5% in the last 24 hours. What a crazy market we're in. What a crazy market we are in. And is currently at 2.18 trillion in the total cryptocurrency market cap. Bitcoin is at 54,000. Bitcoin dominance is at 54, 55%, somewhere in that range. Bitcoin is trading at $59,383 again. And on the 30-day, Bitcoin is up 3%. On the 24-hour, it's up 7.7%. What an interesting market we are in. Ethereum is trading at $2,578 again. And on the 30-day, it's down 15%. Solana is at $156. It was just at 130. It's at $156. Market changes really, really fast. And on the 30-day, it's up 11%. XRP is trading at 62 cents again. And on the 30-day, it's probably the biggest gain at 44.5%. Looks like the Asian market was excited to hear some stuff. 24 hours is up 24%. Interesting to see how it goes. Will we get network adoption from this thing or not? It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see. I did get a post on X about the centralized exchange volume for XRP going up, but not on the DEX. And that's a big difference. Not on the XRPL DEX. All right. It's a big difference. We got to figure out a way to make that happen. So there that is. On the 30-day, I don't think there's a bigger performer. On the 24-hour, I don't think there's a bigger performer than XRP. I mean, it's great to see that. It's great to say that. The reality is we haven't got back to our previous all-time high. And that's the key to begin to create year-over-year net return on holding the asset. So we'll see. We're outperforming BitTensor, outperforming SUI on the 24-hour, Solana on the 24-hour. It looks like it's the biggest gainer in the last 24 hours here. Yeah. It's looking like it. You're getting down to the top 86. Top 100. It is the largest gainer. It's the biggest gainer in 24 hours. Is the digital asset XRP. So I can't wait to see if we're going to get new all-time highs. I'll be excited about new all-time highs. I'm betting on 4 to 7x, Byron, from the 2017-28 all-time high. That's what I'm betting on. I have a suspicion. I have no idea, but I just have a suspicion. People tend to look to top 10, maybe top 20. Maybe top 20. Let's go top 20. Top 20, stable coin. 5 to 75 is going to be expensive for people. $10 expensive for people. $4 expensive for people. Without them doing homework, without them doing research, without doing some crazy due diligence. You think they're going to do that? New people coming in the beginning, in the first or second purchase? In the first or second purchase? I don't think so. Maybe some of that will get to Tron if they go past the top 10. It's only 12 cents. This is just kind of how retail is going to look at it. No different than the way you looked at it when you first got it on CoinMarketCap, right? Cardano will probably get some. I don't know if they're going to do Dogecoin or not, but hey, 10 cents, they might. They might, because they don't understand the market cap. They don't understand circulating supply. When they look at that, it's 10 cents. That's what they're going to look at. In my opinion, what can I get the most bang for my dollars? I mean, that's going to be the first thing they're going to think about, don't you think? But before they get the Doge, they'll see XRP. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be really, really interesting to see. I'm still saying 4 to 7 from the 2017, 2018 high, which is $3.80. 4 from $3.80. 4x from that. 7x from that is where I see it going. Kind of where I see it going. And we'll see. We'll see. But that's my guesstimate. When we get that, when and if we get that, I will be in repurchasing XRP. Well, let's say this. That's one caveat. The other caveat is the TVL on the XRPL. I want to see what those on the XRPL DEX, what is that going to look like? It's important. It's going to be massively important. We get a new all-time high of $25. Be interesting. It'll be really, really interesting to see, because we know what's going to happen during the bear market. We know what's going to happen during the bear market. We're all going to know. So TVL, leveraging what the XRPL ledger is unique in doing really, really well is going to be key. So we're going to have to see this TVL do its thing, in my humble opinion. All right. So those are the numbers. Let's go to Banter Bubbles and see if anyone has any of these assets that are outperforming Bitcoin year to date. Let me refresh it. Still have the 4 top main gainers versus Bitcoin. 3 meme coins. Brett is a meme coin on Base. Dog with hat or with is a meme coin on Solana, the biggest gainer. And Bonk is another meme coin on Solana. The best outperforming versus Bitcoin is dog with hat, right? OM is mantra in the Cosmos SDK ecosystem. Arweave, I'm going to look into Arweave. Arweave, I'm told, has a unique thing yet. It's like a protocol not launched. And if you want to get AR tokens, you got to stake ETH with them in return for AR tokens. And this interview was just done Monday. And that's what the dude said. I didn't know that. But it is outperforming Bitcoin by 107%, which is a nice number. We're doing 100% or more, Byron. 100% or more. Not the 70 cents. 70% is not great, like not over here. Gaming token on the TON network. Not that that's not great. You know, outperforming is outperforming. But we're doing 100% or more. So we got Arweave over here, the AI play. We got Ondu, which is the RWA play. It's the Ondu token. It's not their products that they offer because that's for accredited investors and, you know, people in the U.S. are being protected from something. So Ondu, there it is. Marinade Solana, 247%. That's a big number, 247%. It's a big number. It's a liquid staking platform on Solana. Then there's Jasmine. Do you have any of these? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you have any of these. Jasmine coin, the Internet of Things play out in Japan, 181%. I took a big bet on Jasmine on a hunch. We'll see how it plays out. Jasmine coin, right there. All right, 146% is TON, the TON network. This is what the hedge fund guy was talking about. TON said it was unique, and it was the Web3. What would you say? Behind the curtains is the Web3, and it's out there in the Web2 world, and they think that's the unique thing going forward. Think that's the play going forward. Got all this Web3 stuff in the background that your next door neighbor don't know that it's using it, like DevourGo on Solana, like Hive Mapper on Solana, like Helium Mobile on Solana. Those people out there doing their thing, side gig hustle stuff as well. They don't know about the Web3 behind it at all. Consumer apps in the Web2 world that's being used, but Web3 is the backbone to it. So TON, the open network, 146%. Let me know if you guys got any of these. Pepe is a meme coin on Ethereum. This token was actually stole from the original people who came up with the idea. So they created something else. It's called Pepe coin, but the transition has not really started. People don't know. They still think Pepe was the one, but that's how it goes. That's how it is. If you don't guard your IP, it gets stolen. So then it happened. BitTensor, 128%. BitTensor, 120%. Fetch, let me know if you got Fetch. I think this AGI and Fetch and some other thing that combine, aren't they? I don't know what the three to make up Fetch AI anymore. But that's 113%. That's pretty good. Solana, we have a little bit of Solana. We don't have a lot, but we have a little. Well, yeah. We have Solana. 224% outpacing Bitcoin. And I show this because I just think that in this phase of the bull run, if you happen to be one of the few, it's only 11 or 12. And that includes the meme coins. I think, right? I think it's 11 or 12, including the meme coins. We'll count it out. But I just tend to think if those are outperforming now year to date, they will tend to continue to outperform. That's just my hunch. That's just my hunch. So we have Solana, we have Marinade Solana, we have Jasmine Coin, and we have Ondu, right? So blessed to have 4 of those things. All right, what else we got? I said Fetch, I said Solana. Floki is a meme coin. It's 185% meme coins. We got a hedge fund guy talking about people don't understand what the meme coins are doing and don't know how to. They don't know how to read it. It's interesting. Retail. He's talking about retail, not his clients. who's educated on how to do it. Floki, meme coin. So we go up here to the top right. Any on there? No. So that's it, right? So if we try to count this, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and Floki would make 13. And if you don't count the meme coins, and I'm going to get to my point for why I'm counting this out in a second, which is 1 meme coin, 2 meme coin, 3 meme coins, 4 meme coins, 5 meme coins. Make sure I got that right again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 13 are meme coins, which means you had to pick out of tens of thousands of tokens, you had to get 8 right out of tens of thousands to be outperforming Bitcoin year to date. Tens of thousands. You got 8. Jay Cohen, what's up, bro? Byron Lewis says, nope, don't have any. Think about that. Out of tens of thousands, I think there's over 20-something thousand tokens. There was a lucky 8 that outperformed Bitcoin year to date. Yeah. 8, I'm talking about 8 regular tokens, not including the memes. Anybody got a meme out there? Anybody? I know Keyless has a meme coin. Anybody got that meme? I got a couple of memes. I don't have those memes. I didn't pick that meme. I'm in this space every day like you. I didn't pick Brett. I didn't pick Pepe. I didn't pick Floki. I think we do have someone in the channel got Floki also. I didn't pick them. Did you get Dog with Hat? We were all here when Dog with Hat launched, right? Weren't we all here? 25,000%. My point to that is it's hard to know. It's really hard to get it. Now, yeah, sure, I got Solana. I got Jasmine Coin. I got Andu. So I was able to get 3. It's hard to pick them, right? Out of 20,000. Right? For the altcoins, but there are 3 that have produced a year-over-year return. Actually, it's 4. And it's the year-over-year return that you can count on, as opposed, in my opinion, as opposed to trying to pick the one that's going to outperform Bitcoin. And I guess my point to that, because it takes years. Just like there's really 4 years to the whole cycle every time. 4 years. There's a year, and then there's a second year, and there's a third year of you holding these assets and whether they're doing well against Bitcoin or not, or whether they are returning you a year-over-year return or not. Bitcoin returns a year-over-year return in 4 years. It turns a year-over-year return every year. In the first year, and the second year, the third year, the fourth year. Ethereum has one. Solana has one. And Maker, we've checked. Maker, interestingly enough. So it feels like there's this game of, can I pick the ones that are going to outperform year to date? And do I have the ones that are producing a year-over-year return? Because I can get them. I don't have to be right about the 20x. I can just be right about the year-over-year return and be good with my, that little 5x. Be good with that little 4 to 7x, but I'm getting that year-over-year return. And by the way, the little 5x is every year. Right? So you get that little 5x, and I know everyone became enamored with the 2017, 2018 thing, and they're thinking 5x. Ugh. But who's picking who is getting right the dog with hat? Who's getting right Brett? Who is getting right Bunk? Who's picking them? I didn't get it. I'm in this space every day. I didn't get them. And in the meanwhile, while we're looking, Leo Messi, while we're looking, Bitcoin is right there. Ethereum is right there. Solana is right there on the top 5. While we're looking for the 20 and 25 and 50x and 100x, they're just right there. Check this out, Leo Messi. Year after year after year after year. They're just right there. Isn't that interesting? That little 5x year. It's just right there, 5x during the run, during the cycle, during the bull run, you get that little 5x. And then after that, you get your year-over-year return. For Solana, it's 250 to 300%. For Ethereum, it's about 100%. And Bitcoin is about 40 to 50%. And in the run, Bitcoin is going to give you 3 to 5x. Ethereum is going to give you 4 to 6x. Solana is going to give you 5 to 7x. You take the X, you got the asset, and then the bear run, year-over-year return. Isn't it interesting? And that includes the drawdown. It includes the 75% drawdown for Bitcoin and the 85 to 95% for Ethereum and Solana. Crazy town. That's a crazy town way to think about it. Because Solana launched Chris Miles at 4 cents. It hasn't been at $200 every year. It launched at 4 cents. It's a crazy way to look at it. It's a great, I heard Raul Paul today say, he said Polygon, I mean, just did its thing that one cycle. It did its thing. And then the next 3 years after that was nothing. So for me, I feel like it's my job to identify the ones that are producing the year-over-year return and spend about 10% of my bag on stuff that might do other X's. That's how we're doing it in the Crypto Seekers Home. We're gonna allocate to the main assets that net us a year-over-year return. And Solana might hop out of it. Don't know, but right now it's in it. It's interesting. Very interesting when you can finally get yourself a formula to evaluate these things. What's going on, Mr. XRP All In? How are you, bro? Did you reach out to me? I don't know if I didn't check my email. Chris Miles is in the building. XCC is less than 3 cents. I saw that. Got a feeling about Flare Networks. All right, so let's go over some of the stuff. I showed you the Banter bubbles. Oh, let's do into the cryptoverse here. A little dollar cost average strategy, just to remind folks. This January 2020. Let's see. I'm gonna take BitTensor out. There's nada there, and I'm gonna take Monero out. BitTensor. Monero. Let's put Aave in here. I'm gonna put Aave in here and see what we get. January 2020 to July 31st. Aave dollar cost average strategy didn't work. Isn't that interesting? It's interesting. If you try to just kind of do that, January 2020, and obviously if you do 2021, the numbers will be different. Let me do 2021 because the bull run ended in 2021. January 2021. All right. Solana 718% PL. Maker 124% PL. Bitcoin 10%. 101%. 10%. Ethereum only 66% from January 2021 till today. XRP 23%. 2021 to today. Interesting. Till July 31st, I should say. That would be Bitcoin, Maker, and Solana. Interesting. So January 2021. I could do December of 2021 till today. Let me do that one as well. Because I think that this all ended in this bull run ended in what, May? Didn't it end like in May or July? In any case, that's kind of a good idea to kind of give it, because I think, you know, the 2020 and 2021 bull run, I always like to use the odd year of the run. So of the bull run. So that's about right. I'm gonna do December just for nope. How do we do December? Let's see what December looks like. See what the difference is. So there it is. Yeah, still Solana 433% PL, Maker 156% PL, Bitcoin 119%, and then you got ETH at 68, XRP at 30. Right. So 2020, we're in 2024 run, and 2025 will end. But this is the way that you check to see what would a dollar cost average strategy look like, and how is that going to be PL wise, right? What is that going to look? What is that going to look like? So 2024, that's 3 years. That's 100% a year. It's just kind of a way to kind of check, when am I going to get year over year on the assets? And you could do like a little dollar cost average strategy and see how that works for you. And right now, I keep getting Bitcoin, Maker, and Solana. It looks like Ethereum just kind of fell by the wayside for recent years from 2020 onward. Interesting. Well, I mean, 68%. I mean, that's another thing to consider as well. I mean, are we slouching at 68% a year? Are we fading that, as we like to say? And I just realized I'm not sharing my screen. What the world? What the world, Chris Miles? I wasn't sharing my screen. All right, so let me do this again. Let's go back to, I said 2020. Let's go back to January of 2021 so I can show you guys. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh. January. What the world? January 2021. Oh, I got to pick a date. Now let's go January. January 1st, 2021. And then I'm going to do December 21st, 2021. So January, they got Solana PL 718% in January till July 31st, right? Because we're in August now. Maker at 124%, Bitcoin at 101% PL. Right? And I get it. Solana launched in 2020. It's been doing its thing. I get it. So now let's change it to December of 2021. December 31st. And there it is. At $200 a month. This is a $200 a month DCA, $200 a month. 433% for Solana, 156% for Maker, which I just find to be fascinating. Bitcoin is 119%. Maker just hangs out in the shadows, just quietly netting its holders some stuff. It's fascinating. Maker's getting ready to go through some new tokenomics also. So it's going to be interesting to see what that's going to look like. But those are the numbers right there. I mean, just some $200 a month. Obviously, you can put $100 a month. Doesn't really matter. And by the way, Ethereum, in addition to the 68%, we should point this out, PL, the profit loss here. In addition to that, obviously, people can also stake their Ethereum as well. So, I mean, that's not a slouch. You don't have to stake all of it. You certainly can stake some of it and get an extra, I think it's 4 or 5% on that money. So there that is there. All right, let's get into some crypto X stuff. Let's see, do I want to share this? All right, so let me do this before I share it. I mean, this is good stuff there. So the Solana ETF was approved in Brazil, spot ETF. It says breaking, Brazil regulator approves the first Solana spot ETF partnering with the CME group. And we'll be live within the next 90 days. The Brazilian Securities and Exchange Commission has approved the launch of the first Solana spot ETF in Brazil and worldwide. The Solana ETF approved by the CVM will have its reference price, as its reference price, the CME CF Solana dollar reference rate. This is the same thing I think XRP ended up getting, right? Which is a reference rate designed to provide a reliable and transparent measure of the value of Solana. It's interesting, too, because of this Brazilian regulator. But I'm guessing this because the Ripple connections with the Central Bank of Brazil. But again, with the lawsuit pending, I don't know. I mean, I don't think Brazil would recognize that. But in any case, it's interesting to see the Solana get approved before XRP. That's my point. All right. Reference rate designed to provide a reliable and transparent measure of the value of Solana in US dollars. Developed by the partnership between the CME and crypto facilities, this index aims to offer a standardized and accurate quote for the price of Solana based on transaction data carried out on the main cryptocurrency exchange. And the CME group, just to let you know, with this whole reference rate and stuff, right, there's got to be a value, there's got to be a thing there for those assets, in my opinion, to get on this reference rate thing. So in any case, there it is. According to information shared on Cointelegraph, this fund is already in the pre-operational phase. During this phase, the ETF begins raising initial funds from investors and formalizes contracts with service providers such as administrators, managers, and custodians. In addition, the assets necessary to compose the fund's portfolio are acquired. That's interesting. Solana ETF in Brazil, and I just say Wen U.S. Oh, I can't wait to play this video. I mean, it's kind of cursing in here though, but I do want to play it. So Meta Lawman reminded me, I don't know why I didn't think about this when we talked about this last night in the live stream, but Judge Torres has issued her ruling on remedies in the Ripple case. Is zero disgorgement as expected because no loss is shown by the SEC. I didn't think about that part of it. And that's a big deal because they're essentially, Judge Torres is saying there was no one harmed by the actions of Ripple for their sales of the security violation thing that they did with corporation. It was a zero disgorgement. And the SEC wanted an equal disgorgement to penalties. and they asked for $2 billion in penalties. So they didn't get any disgorgement money. I didn't realize it. And the $125 million in the civil penalty for securities violation is going to freaking to institutions. That money is going to the Treasury. It's not going to the SEC. The SEC gets the disgorgement. This is a small fraction of the damages the SEC was seeking in the case. My guess is both sides will appeal. And Metaloma was in an interview with the Wolf of Wall Street. I forget his name, Scott Melker. And Metal Lawman says James Murphy believes that he believes both sides are going to appeal. Another thing that we should point out and say yay, yay, yay to John Deaton, there was a straw poll done recently. Thank you to everyone who came out to vote for me in the Norfolk County GOP straw poll. I was truly humbled to receive more than 75% of the vote from hundreds of Republicans who said I am the best candidate to defeat Elizabeth Warren. The momentum of our grassroots campaign to defeat Senator Warren is growing. People are ready for change. Go to johndeatonforsenate.com to support. johndeatonforsenate.com/support to get what you can. So yeah, that's awesome. That's really, really, really freaking awesome to see that. Crush the online Zoom poll too. So that's great to see, man. I mean, that's big. That's a big, big win. 75% of Republicans think that he's the better person to get it done against Elizabeth Warren, which is great. John will get that nod. He'll get the, get that primary thing and then go head to head with her. That's a battle. It's going to be it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle, but I do believe he has what it takes. And I do believe people want to change because people just recognize when it's something just ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Chris Miles, like something just ain't right. Let's see here. What was this about? Oh, so Flair Networks put this out. 66,293,000 FLR burnt. This directly benefits you, the FLR holder. Without this burn, the investors would be able to claim approximately 3 times their original allocation through the flare drops, unfairly diluting community holdings. So it's more about the 2.1 billion FLR burn over here, if you want to read that. So I covered, Stuart Aderota's response to the ruling and to Brad Garlinghouse's response to the ruling. $30,000 in 10 seconds. The world. All right. Brad Spoley said, Elon Musk, you have a golden opportunity right now to legally say F you to the SEC after this loss today to Ripple. Announce XRP will be part of the X payments platform. Run it through X legal. I bet Adam would agree with me. I don't know who the Adam is, but here's the thing to note. If you're doing an F asset beta testing thing, why isn't my thing up there? I just had that up. Important update, XRP testnet reset. F assets beta reset. The XRP testnet will be reset on August 19th, invalidating all F test XRP. F assets open beta on COS10 will be paused and reset until the XRP testnet stabilizes. The action required redeem the F test XRP by August the 18th at 11:59 Eastern time. Redeem all that F test XRP. You will receive an airdrop of 1,000 new test XRP to facilitate the transition. An important note, the XRP testnet reset is not something that will happen with any mainnet. F asset system deployment schedule remains unchanged. The ship everything thing remains unchanged. Extra info on retroactive airdrops. To be qualified, no more than 1,000 units of each test app asset. If you're not using your main address, send the required amount to your beta. All right, you guys can read that. But anyway, there's a little reset there. And so you want to redeem. Let's see something here. We want to redeem. But you have no more than 1,000. Let's connect. I'm going to connect here and see what's good. Connect. Hold on a second. I gotta change this up. Let's see if this thing is working now. Don't look like it's working. Oh. All right, so that did connect. Okay, I'm in a good spot there. Got a good redemption going on. All right. So remember, on the test FXRP, let's see, is this right? Let's share my screen here. So it's no more than this amount of, no more than 1,000 test XRP. So it says redeem, right? That note said redeem. Redeem the F test XRP by 18th. Miss Crypto C is over there. I can hear her. She's doing her content. All right, let's see if this is going to work. Oh, come on. Let's see. So just remember that, guys. Redeem, redeem, redeem. Because I am reading this right? You're going to get a new 1,000. All right. To be qualified, no more than 1,000 units of each test F asset. No more than 1,000 units of each test F asset. I got it. Got it. So I think that's right. No more than 1,000 of each F test asset. So I think I did that right. There's only one assets F test XRP. So I think that's right. I think I'm reading that right. Are you guys reading that the right way I'm reading it? You will receive 1,000 new test XRP. Or does this need to be less than 1,000? Does this need to be 1,000? This needs to be 1,000. Is that how it? So maybe each one of these needs to be 1,000. It's very confusing. What's going on, Hydro? Colin Hughes is in the building. How are you, bro? Ronaldo, what's going on, bro? Hi, buddy. Greetings from Oceanside. I'm concerned about the new Operation ChokePoint 2.0 today. I saw it on X, but couldn't get an accurate read on what's happening recently. Any idea? Yeah, I mean, I'll go over it. I'll go over it for sure. So this thing is just it says here, where is this? No more than 1,000 units of each test F asset. It says of each test F asset. So so I'm thinking that's what I should, because it says you should redeem. So I think I'm doing it right. Action required. Redeem F test XRP by the 18th. Redeem. That's what I just did. I just redeemed. So I think I'm good. So that this number is okay to be more than 1,000. It's this number under F assets that you don't want to be more than 1,000, or the CFLR number, which is another F asset. That's how I'm figuring it. Let me know what you guys think, but I think that's right. Hydro says no agent available on yours. Oh man. Yeah, that sucks when you're kind of going through that. It's really, because you have to keep popping in. All right, so let's cover this this news about the Operation ChokePoint 2.0. Tyler Winklevoss put it out, he reposted Nick Carter's information. Tyler says Operation ChokePoint 2.0 is alive, and I wouldn't say as well. I would say it's brutal. The Biden-Harris administration's reign over terror continues. If this goes on unabated for 4 more years, the crypto industry in America will be dead. Nick Carter says customers was one of the biggest pro-crypto banks out there. The Fed and FDIC are systematically dismantling all crypto-friendly banks, one after the next. So says here, August 8th, sections. This is on the SEC thing, or somebody's board did this. The Federal Reserve Board did it. So Federal Reserve Board issues enforcement action with Customers Bank Corp, Inc. and Customers Bank. The Federal Reserve Board on Thursday announced the execution of the enforcement action listed below. Interesting that they did that. So there's no link to it. So on the Federal Reserve.gov thing. All right, so here it is. Old, it isn't a consent order, it's a written agreement, says somebody here. Why would we have a disagreement on this? So let's go on here. Enforcement actions. Formal enforcement actions include cease and desist orders, written agreements, prompt corrective action directives, removal and permission orders, and orders assessing civil money penalties. Steve, fintech attorney, principal at Middlebrook, interest prepaid card. All right. He's saying it's old isn't a consent order, it's a written agreement. And Jason is saying a written agreement still constitutes an enforcement action. It says formal enforcement actions include cease and desist orders and written agreements. So technically it is. It says ordering flags gaps in the BSA's land anti-money laundering OFAC compliance. And it's just, again, this is just a way for the Fed and the FDIC to harass any of these banks that are supplying services to crypto companies. Caitlin Long said this, well, isn't it interesting that the Fed drops this enforcement action on the same day as Ro crypto reset meeting with the White House, including Lael Brainard, formerly of the Fed, who's part of Operation ChokePoint 2.0. The Fed has a history of timing its actions. The FDIC is our main antagonist now, to the extent that crypto ever wants to disrupt real-world finance, tokenized equities, securitization, etc. The SEC has been basically KO'd. The FDIC should have 5x the attention that the SEC now does, going forward, in my opinion. Interesting. And Creepy Marty is still in office despite announcing his planned resignation, which is weird. All right. Says, can confirm the effort restarted in March. Bank regulators are quietly threatening bank CEOs and CCOs to shut down crypto companies and activities. They threaten with investigations and fines. And they said this is all outside of regular formal process, from what I heard. Yeah, they tried to scare them. So, yeah, and this is interesting. And I'm wondering if someone in this meeting that Caitlin Long is talking about is going to bring up this issue. I'm wondering if they're going to bring it up. Interesting indeed. But that's, it's a scare tactic, and it's hard to get the financing or services that you 1000% need in this space. So it's still real. It is still real. I want to give you something that I think is a great food for thought. It's from Michael Nadal. It says, so now you're going to tell me that Bitcoin just experienced its first 33% correction of the bull run. 2 prior were 20 plus percent corrections. Solana corrected 45%. 2 prior were plus 45% correction. Ethereum was a 38% correction. 2 prior corrections were 30% and 32%. The funding rates have fully reset. Supply overhang, forced sellers have largely liquidated. The German government, Jump, Mt. Gox, FTX creditors, Grayscale, Bitcoin, and ETH Trust. The Bitcoin MVRV is down 1.47. Long-term holders stepping back into the market after taking profit in Q2. Price firmly above the 200 weekly moving average. Minor capitulation is slowing. Sentiment flip to fearful. Altcoins are hated, especially ETH. Pitchforks out for bankless HQ. Counterintuitive, but this is necessary for the next move up. People need to be caught off-site, under-allocated. Indeed. Business cycle is bottoming, not peaking. This is what Ron Paul said the other day. Fed expects to cut in September and into next year as unemployment creeps up and inflation drops. Bank of Japan just took their finger off the trigger. No more rate hikes. U.S. Treasury running 6% budget deficit on the fiscal side during an election year. Crypto becoming an election issue. Trump announced support for a strategic Bitcoin reserve. A bill was actually proposed by Senator Lummis, forcing other countries to take the assets seriously. Game theory. Major wealth managers now selling Bitcoin and ETH to their clients via new ETF products. By the way, we'll discover in this video we're about to watch, that does take liquidity from the digital asset space, just to let you know. You get a little small family office, for example. right? Who would have allocated some of that money from the ETF into crypto by way of Coinbase, stable coins, whatever. Now they're doing it through this ETF. Both assets have historically improved risk-adjusted returns when added as a small allocation to a well-diversified portfolio. The market is still relatively small. It's not a hard sell. Yeah. So C5 firms that contributed to over-leveraged last cycles, such as BlockFi, Genesis, and Celsius, have been removed from the market. No Terra Luna that we know of, or other systemic risks that we know of. But seriously, you're going to tell me all that and you want me to be bearish? Setup feels similar to the September-October 2020 after Paul Tudor Jones called Bitcoin the fastest horse and Michael Saylor started buying Bitcoin via MicroStrategy balance sheet. Interesting food for thought there. Keyless is in the building. What's going on, miss? How are you? Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. That'd be awesome. If you guys can hit that like button. We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. That would be really cool. And by the way, if you've been hanging out, listening to the Crypto Seeds and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, if you've been enjoying those hangouts, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're on a push to get to 10,000 subs as fast as we humanly possibly can. And you can do your part by just hitting that subscribe button right now. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. Let me find this little interview here with this hedge fund guy and Raoul Paul. I think it's worth the taking a listen to. I'm hoping this is going to be, it is.
Deliver the benefits of Web3 without making users go through a whole new gates to sort of get that utility.
Let me see if I can find a couple of notes here. Let's check out. I watched this when there was no bookmark, so they've edited it. Where are we at here? 56. Yeah, here it is. The layer one race and emerging protocols. Now, this is going to be a reference, I think, to Flair, some of the things that this guy says, who's a hedge fund guy. Raoul Paul has a fund that invests in hedge funds. And this is one of the hedge funds that Raoul Paul invests in. What's this guy's name? Does it mention it here? Yeah, Richard Galvin, CEO of Digital Asset Capital Management. All right, so let's take a listen here. Let's see if this is right. Reevaluation of all coins. We'll start here and then just go through it.
And so you're seeing the same dynamic play out even in the altcoin space as the meme coin space. And there's just too many alts for too little capital. Now, as I mentioned, there's two ways that gets fixed. You allocate more capital to that space, or that space gets vastly revalued. That's like new coins coming out. And that's what we've probably seen over the last sort of 12 months or so. We've seen a dramatic revaluation in Bitcoin in some of the majors, and we've seen the alts, that oversupply, push the value of alts down. And we're starting to see levels now where we're starting to see that sort of fundamental value come through.
Yeah, because, I mean, there is a limit to the number of layer twos. Because, I mean, what's the difference between one to the other? It's, you know, we're starting to see that narrative coming. At first, people are like, well, let's see how these layer twos are going to be valued, etc. The first round, Matic and stuff from last cycle did pretty well. And then they've just been nuked to death because these are kind of infinitely replicable things, right?
Yeah, and I think it needs to, the markets fix them or heal themselves through all sorts of different phases. And it means that, VCs will start to make a lot less money and start to lose money on the next layer two or the next layer one that they invest in. And so you start to see the whole sort of structural shift in the market. Because I think today in crypto, the big returns in the VC space, which we've been fortunate to participate in as well, have been in picking those right layout ones, like picking that Solana, picking that Avalanche, at that VC type round where you get those sort of your 100x type return.
Hold on a second, guys. All right, let's try this again.
And that playbook's played out probably longer than most people expected, but I think we're starting to see that unwind now. So you start to see the valuations come down in the liquid market for that next layer two and start to come down below the levels that VC markets have funded them at. And so you start to see less funding of those things happen and the market sort of heal themselves. But it does take time.
Also, I thought it was very interesting what Coinbase did by launching Base, which is a layer 2 with no token. And that kind of made sense to me in some respects, is some of these things don't need tokens.
No, we're starting to see people sort of reinvent the way these tokens are launched. You know, if you look back at the broad crypto environment that probably generated the broadest spread of returns, you know, of retail versus insiders, was back in the ICO craze of 2017. Now, that had a whole bunch of other issues around legal risks and disclosures, and I'm not stepping back from that. But if you looked at it, it was probably the most even playing field in capital markets across any asset class we've seen for a long period of time, right? Like, as crazy as it was, you know, retail investors were making huge returns, and the returns they were making versus the insiders in that market were probably the most balanced we've seen in the crypto market today, right? And now that's gone away for a whole bunch of different reasons, but oddly enough, that sort of drove a much more balanced market where people were investing in the liquid market because there was still a lot of valuation upside left on the table from those ICO launches. And in a weird way, it had got to a place in a very short space of time that the IPO market, you know, where I spent a bunch of my time as well, has got to over 50 years in equities, right? You don't list an IPO, and IPOs don't price at their maximum price. They price at a fair price to leave something on the table for secondary market investors. So initial investors make money. Secondary market investors who take that risk on day one, day two in an IPO generally make money as well. And that's a much more conducive capital market to what we've seen in crypto lately, where either the insiders make way too much money or the listed market wastes way too much money. And it's just getting that balance right. So I think what we're starting to see is teams, more sophisticated teams, think about how do I approach the crypto market and the funding market in a more balanced way that avoids some of the pitfalls we've seen over the last few years. And so we're starting to see what we think is a trend towards more of a fair launch type approach. You know, something that's just really interesting that we're following at the moment is, you know, the Arweave team launching their protocol AO, where it's a completely fair launch. The team don't have any tokens. No insiders have any tokens. You effectively have to farm that token by giving either owning Arweave and getting access to the token or staking your ETH. So you stake your ETH to a contract, you earn AO tokens for doing that, and the team gets to keep the staking rewards to effectively fund the development. And anyone can access that contract. Anyone can effectively earn those AO tokens over the next, you know, over the next 3 or 4 years in size by giving up the yield on their ETH to effectively earn them. And it's a fair launch. It's open to anyone with, you know, half an ETH to 10,000 ETH. And, you know, the team even starts with none, right? So you start to get that sort of fair, open access allocation to anyone that wants to take the opportunity to get involved in the ecosystem and turn up. And so when that protocol launches, you're not going to have this capital that's got in a much lower price into the prices and is looking to exit. That's, you know, got different sort of, you know, a different sort of risk return profile that people buying in the secondary market.
Yeah, and people try to get around this whole concept by airdrops and kind of points, but it still disadvantaged everybody. And it just also felt like what you did was rent attention, and you didn't bootstrap most of the networks who did it. People just went there, got the airdrop, dumped it as fast as they could, did exactly what they accused the VCs of doing, which most of the VCs actually don't because they're usually locked up, but they farm this stuff, figure out how to get it, get the airdrop, dump it, move on to the next one. It's like, well, that doesn't work either.
No, and then that starts to get game, right? So I think there's two things that make people committed to an investment longer term, which is what you want when you're building an asset, when you're building an ecosystem or a protocol. You want people alongside you that are
Hold on a
committed.
second, guys. Sorry, this little Miss Crypto C just calling. So I think it's interesting about Raw Paul mentioning the airdrop thing. Jungle Ink's in the building. What's going on, Jungle? I think it's hugely important. It just feels like to me, Jungle, that Flare Networks is just caught on to. First of all, they leveraged the advantages they had. Flare Networks, Hugo and the team. What is that advantage that they had? They had an opportunity to see others come before them, get some things right and get some things wrong, right? And they paid attention to that. They paid attention to it and adjusted accordingly. Adjusted accordingly to just XRP holders to, let's leverage the top three in terms of market cap with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP holders. They kind of adjusted the way they're doing the flare drops. I think it's massively important that the way they're doing the flare drops and the emissions, by the way, and the emissions, right? The way they got the emissions done as well. You can, I think it's like you can claim it, but if you do some other, it's like two phases to it. Hold on, let me see. Which was a little confusing to me at first. It's like a redemption and then a claim to these emissions. I'm talking emissions. Right? Let me see, where was that at? I feel like and I didn't quite understand it because I reached out to them like, what are you talking about? There's he told me, but there's two parts to it. One part was like but anyway, there's two parts to it. It's like a claim and there's a redeem for these emissions. One is you get it and it immediately becomes eligible for flare drops. Another one is if you, I guess, I don't know, again, I don't know, claim, redeem, I don't know which one, then it's not, but you can go and sell it. So they have a way to kind of encourage people from not taking the next step to, actually liquidating the emissions. Something to do with claim and redeeming. And the flare drops is kind of that same thing. Sure, you get that flare drop, you get it, but if you'd like some more, right, you just wrap that thing and then you're eligible for some more. So again, a different kind of way of doing airdrop and a way to encourage people to hold on to things. I mentioned this earlier, Jungle, in the video. I think that it feels like Flare Network is going to heavily reward the long-term holder. If the model works, in other words, if it works, right? It's one thing to have great technology that's a differentiator. right? But if that model works, people using the data, it's working. The FS, the agents are doing their thing. The FTSO people are doing their thing, and it's working. It feels like it's going to really mint the long-term people who see the vision of that thing. It just really feels Flare Networks again, and he's going to mention it in this video. This hedge fund owner, runner, whatever he is, manager of his own hedge fund, and he has a VC thing as well. It said the game is these layer ones, these novel layer ones that have something that is a differentiator from all the other layer ones, right? Think about that, the blockchain for data, all right, and AI. That's now you think you say, well, it's Chainlink, but they're doing it a different way than Chainlink, aren't they? They're doing it a different way, that differentiator, right? And then the other part that he mentions in this video is because Flare Network says all the time, Web 2 and Web 3, Web 2 and Web 3, Web 2 and Web 3, right? And so Flare is going to be taking advantage. They're going to be doing stuff that is consumer friendly to the Web 2 people, but the technology underneath it, behind the curtain, is this Web 3 thing that is Flare Networks. It's the FTSOs. It's all that kind of stuff. And when I think about that, I think about Flare big time. He mentioned Teleton network, the open network, as an example of that. But I think Flare is the same way because they keep mentioning Web 2 and Web 3. So I feel like they're going to build some kind of consumer-friendly thing, have it be backed by the Web 3 technology, but they have the differentiator, right? And it feels like, to me, it's true decentralization. And we're going to find out whether there's true security, and we're going to find out whether it's true scalability. These are things we got to find out, but it's feeling like that. Jungle says a non-material investment in Bitcoin can produce material outcomes. This is what I've been saying on the channel for the last 4 or 5 months. People thought I was abandoning XRP and all this other kind of stuff and being hard on Ripple. And I'm just trying to say, no, this is what I'm discovering from these, net worth guys of 40 and 50 and $100 million before they got into crypto. And what they were saying and what they were doing, the questions they were asking, and the way they're talking is exactly that. A non-material investment in Bitcoin can produce material outcomes. And this is from Fidelity Getting Off Zero report. Oh, really? You have a link for that, Jungle? That's interesting. What's going on, co-creator Rod? Aloha, brother. Click the like button. That's right. Click the like button, folks. That's exactly what I've been saying. I've been preaching on this channel for the last 4 or 5 months now. And I was giving my own personal example of being overweighted incorrectly because I missed it. I missed it. And I know a lot of it was being enamored by the 2017, 2018 gains. And I missed I missed the core fundamental principles of investing, which is buying valuable assets and holding on to those assets, and hopefully they net you some returns year over year, like dividends, as an example. So yeah, that's very, very interesting. So let's listen. Move accordingly is in the building. What's going on? My guy, Kyle T. Moore checked in. What's up with you, bro? Let's take a listen to this guy, this Galvin guy again here. And again, these are 2 hedge fund people, right? Right. This is why I say it's hugely important for us to pop our head outside of the XRP bubble and take a look around, like at what other people are saying and doing. It's massively important. All right. Hopefully he's gonna say this novel thing that I thought: new trends and token launches aligning investors. Okay, maybe I had the wrong part, but let's see what he says.
Now, there's two ways to be committed. It's either capital or time, capital and over time, right? Now, I think the problem the airdrops faced was that it made people committed, but over a very short period of time. And so attention just moved to the new thing as soon as an airdrop passed. And you effectively gave away substantial quantities or ownership of an asset to people that were only there for a few weeks in time. Now, when you're building something and you're a team and you've got tokens and you've got skin in the game over a 5-year plus time frame, that kind of doesn't make a bunch of sense. So what I think we'll start to see is things where you're making that commitment to an ecosystem over time, like staking capital and giving a return or giving up a return over a longer period of time to earn those tokens over a longer period of time. And so you start to get alignment between the investors and the team and the ecosystem that's building over that longer period. And look, this isn't rocket science. This is how traditional markets have worked, right? VCs make investments in traditional markets over 5 to 10-year time frames. Yeah, they go through the good and the bad of building things from the ground up. And yeah, that's traditional markets have worked out that's the best way to get alignment with capital and builders. And the crypto market will get there over time, and it's starting to get there now.
And the other thing is, as you mentioned, because of this misalignment between tokens that have a lot of VC investors that come to market or have token overhangs from unlocks, they tend to get really quite cheap. At this point in the cycle, you've got this hugely stretched relationship. And for me, I think the big game that I'm looking at is usually there's a chosen group of four, the four horsemen, the ones that get chosen for the next cycle. If you remember last cycle, it was Avalanche, Polygon, Luna, Solana. They were that was the big race where there's huge gains because they got sold off. They were all like ETH was sold off as soon as it had its ICO as well. They came off like 70%. They kind of stabilized. And then as the market regime changed, the capital came in. I'm really eyeing I'm doing a lot of charts of one versus another, trying to figure out, okay, what is strong once you filter out market movements. But that feels like that's a big game. And it feels like it's probably a layer one game because they're bigger. Sure, there's going to be other stuff. We'll talk about the other stuff in a sec. But how do you see that layer one race? I mean, do you agree with that thesis? This is probably going to be another group. My current view is it's probably, and again, I don't know, don't really have an insight, but I'm guessing it's something like Avalanche, even those last cycle token.
Real quick, Jungle, aren't you a fan of things like Near and Arweave? Are you familiar with Arweave?
They seem to be doing interesting stuff. Sui and Aptos, because they are, a whole different kind of ecosystem, but all of these have this kind of high LDV, low float. I think Monad has not come to market yet. That's another one. Maybe Near. I don't know. What do you think is this race? And again, it's very early to pick it, so I'm not holding a gun to your head. But what's your hunch?
Yeah, I think we look at layer ones as we've always had a view that there's going to be a number of what we'd say is a multi-trillion-dollar layer one protocols. Now, how big that number is, I think is a harder thing to predict. But when you think, but they're going to offer different things, right? They're going to offer different opportunities.
I mean, those
different
just sell blocks. They're just decentralized businesses that sell block space.
So that is the part here. I'm going to play it again. I think I did that right. Hold on a second. Thank you. Hold on. I think I did that right.
I mean, those just sell blocks. They're just decentralized businesses that sell block space. I mean, those just sell blocks. And again, it's very early to pick it, so I'm not holding a gun to your head. But what's your hunch?
Yeah, I think we look at layer ones as we've always had a view that there's going to be a number of what we'd say is a multi-trillion-dollar layer one protocols. Now, how big?
I'm going to get to the chat for that statement right there. We've always had the view Jungle, weren't you like a fan of Near and Arweave, Render? And are you familiar with the Arweave ecosystem? So I'm gonna end that on that question there. He said this hedge fund guy has said, we've always felt like there were going to be a number of layer ones in multi-trillion dollar spaces or industries. No. In other words, he's saying there's going to be a layer one with multi-trillions in market cap. Then there's going to be another layer one and multi-trillions in market cap. It ain't going to be, my point is, it ain't going to just be Bitcoin. Multi-trillions. And then I'm going to let you say, I'm going to let you hear what is the kind of nuances, what's the other qualifications to perhaps be that multi-trillion dollar layer one. He says, yes, the jungle says, yes, Near is one of my fave. Arweave, I believe, is important for permanent storage solutions. Good complement to Filecoin. Yeah, to what Filecoin does. I don't love Render, but I do think it will do well. Gotcha. He was just saying here, this Arweave has an interesting way that they did their token thing, which was essentially no one has tokens. And to get tokens, you stake ETH with them, I believe. And they keep the ETH rewards and you get Arweave tokens. That's an interesting one. But I do think flare drops and flare networks emissions is a very different and unique way. But what do you guys think about that? There's going to be multiple layer ones with multi-trillion dollar market caps. Oh, thanks for that link, Jungle. Think about that. No. Think Think about that. That work. Multiple layer ones. Thank you, Jungle. Multiple layer ones with multi-trillion dollar market caps. I don't know why whenever I try to do something, copy something from here, it never works. It's just on their regular site, Fidelity Digital Assets. Let's see. I'm a big fan of Fidelity too. I'm a big fan of Fidelity. And how they're thinking and how they're treating the digital asset space as a whole. I'm wondering whether I can trust the banking end of Fidelity. Anybody familiar with Fidelity banking? I'm really wondering if I can trust that banking. But everybody needs to read that and just kind of think about that. A non-material investment in Bitcoin can produce material outcomes. And this is coming from Fidelity. Getting off zero report. I mean, Anyway, let's take a listen to this hedge fund guy again.
Their number is, I think, is a harder thing to predict, but when you think, but they're going to offer different things, right? They're going to offer different opportunities.
I mean, those
different
just sell blocks. They're just decentralized businesses that sell block space.
Yeah, so they need to have something that's unique about that block space.
That's
Either right. It's speed of transactions, it's security, whatever it may be, it's language on them, whatever it may be. So
something different about their block space. Again, he referenced security. I think this data and the availability of data and the way they're accessing this data and the way they're going to leverage AI, it just sounds like Flare Networks is going to be one of those layer ones. It just sounds like it. Just really sounds like it. I don't know. It's just something about it.
Yeah, we've always taken a view that there's going to be multiple multi-trillion-dollar layer ones. They're all going to find some area where they have a comparative advantage.
Find an area where they have a competitive advantage. Didn't we just go through a little drama thing with Flare Networks shelving layer cake because they want to leverage and go all in on what they feel is their competitive advantage? I don't know. Are you leaving? Yeah. Okay. Just I don't know. Something, I'm going to leave the link for you guys to watch this video.
That comparative advantage is going to lead to more and more apps and use cases being built around that. And that's going to crowd out other use cases. And yeah, we've already seen that play out, I would suggest, between Ethereum and Solana. It's not. Yeah. It's not a coincidence that the pump fund and all the meme coin activities happened on Solana versus Ethereum, because it's a fraction of the price to do that on Solana versus Ethereum. Now, that's not a bad thing for Solana, not a bad thing for Ethereum. It just means that Ethereum has become more valuable to people like us that are moving millions of dollars around in a transaction, right? And we're happier to pay the higher fees, although that's been addressed a little bit by layer twos, but we're happier to pay the higher fees for the security and that comes with Ethereum. But then that left the door open to someone like a Solana to grab that, initially that NFT marketplace and now that meme coin marketplace, where you've got that sort of rapid transaction speed and that launch capability to launch tokens at a minute fraction to what it was on Ethereum. And so Solana has grabbed that market from Ethereum. Now, that's not, that just plays into our thesis that there's not going to be a chain that's, everything to everyone. They're going to find this specialist use case. That use case is going to become successful. That's going to grab all that block space that you talk about and dominate that block space and create out other use cases. And those use cases will find another chain that suits the purpose that they want.
Yeah, and my view is this space is, $2 trillion today after the sell-off. And I think it goes to 100 trillion. That's just extrapolating out the log trend of adoption or just the market cap, total market cap chart, put it on a log scale, put a regression on it. It gets to 100 trillion by, let's say, 2032, 2034. So you can see the space is still player versus player a lot. They're like, oh my God, Solana's robbing Ethereum. It's not. The whole thing is going to explode. So as you say, there's plenty of space for 5, 6, 7 multi-trillion-dollar ecosystems.
Yeah, we've never adopted the Ethereum killer or Bitcoin killer type approach to anything, because I just think it's the wrong mindset. We have exactly the same view as you, that this asset class is growing way beyond anything it's at today, which means that rising tide can float all boats. It means that Solana and Ethereum can definitely win together. Right? It doesn't mean the player versus player is the interesting thing, and to a degree that actually plays in the favour of crypto around the whole ecosystem building, having people that are passionately focused on one asset or one ecosystem actually is advantageous to that ecosystem. But from a purely financial perspective, it doesn't mean one fails and the other prospers, because I just think this space is too big to be catered for by one protocol. I mean, we're starting to see a whole bunch of consumer apps start to come to market, start to get that sort of traction that we haven't seen previously in crypto, and that opens a new opportunity for new layer ones. And we're a sizable investment across our firm in Year, for example, which is starting to see real sort of uptick on that consumer app level that we haven't seen in crypto before. and that's a new market that we think a layer one can grab, that some of the players like a Solana or Ethereum don't have, or probably won't grab it at this moment, given the use cases they're chasing. So you're seeing new opportunities come along, and you're seeing new protocols like a Near or a Telegram or a Ton Open Network start to grab those opportunities. And that doesn't mean that takes growth away from Solana or Ethereum at all. It just means that you're broadening the market. And I think as investors in crypto, and as in people that also passionately want crypto to succeed, and blockchain technology to get to where we wanted to get to, that's what you want to see. You want to see a broad-based growth across multiple protocols and across multiple apps that have different use cases. So
absolutely. And that's where I think the people in the Solana ecosystem have recognized that early on. Yeah, right. What's going on, Lawrence? Jungle says different tools for different jobs. And he mentioned something called the Sessions app, and he spoke to Near Protocol and the open network, because they're doing it differently in that they're reaching out to the web to, they're web 2 kind of focused, but the technology behind the thing that the consumer is using is underneath it, and behind it is Web3 stuff. And he mentioned the open network. I don't know if that NOT token, that gaming thing is how that's working, but I think NOT is probably a prime example, because I know it's a gaming platform, and it's probably, the Web2 people are using it because they love gaming, but they don't know that it's on TON. They don't know that it's on the open network. And I find it fascinating that in every thing that comes from Flare Networks, they keep saying Web 2 and Web 3. Hugo keeps saying Web 2 and Web 3. And I think that they're going to do something very, very similar, and come up with some, something very, very similar with their technology and in that approach. But I gotta tell you what, I get excited about the idea of 5 or 6 or 7 multi-trillion-dollar layer ones. That is really, really exciting, considering that we've only had one. That is really, really exciting, especially if we could see something like that, Lawrence, if we could see something like that in 2032 or 2034. And I guess there's some hints as to, a couple of them now, which we like to say, the Mag 7s. We call them the Mag 7s of crypto. Yeah, something about, I don't know, it's just something about Flare and just kind of that direction. Now they got to deliver. The FTSO providers got to deliver, right? The data thing has to, they have to deliver on true digital, which is kind of, you can kind of see is their kind of their mantra, their what's that word? The thing they're shouting from the rooftops about who Flare Network is. These true decentralization, true security, and true scalability. More and more of the decentralization aspect will become more and more evident. I mean, having 100 data providers as compared to 5, 6, or 8 from Chainlink, that's a big differentiator, right? And it speaks more to decentralization. But they got to prove the security thing, and they have to prove the scalability thing as well. But I do think they're going down a lane, their own lane, and they're differentiating themselves from anything else, and how they do it, like their flare drops, like their emissions. So, I mean, I don't know. That's what it feels like to me. I kind of get these things. I kind of get these feelings, and I, respond to those, and that's, I honor those, and I kind of respond to it. No different than, the major win on Matic, the major win on EGLD. Now I got a couple of bets out there on other stuff, but feels that way about Flare. It feels like if you buy into if you buy into their ecosystem, what I mean by that is not just getting the token and selling the token, but getting the token and holding the token and wrapping the token and delegating the token and or staking the token and providing liquidity, or being involved in that ecosystem. It just feels like to me that people of holders of that FLR token are going to be massively rewarded. Just feels like it. Could you imagine? I'm just putting numbers out now. I mean, the token's at 1 cent now. I'm just imagining when it's at $10. In the next bull run, let's say, for example, that will be in 2028, ending in 2029. And just so that's just 4 to 5 short years from now. And thinking about having received those FLR tokens for just holding XRP. Now, I know people have added to their bags and people have used their dirty, nasty fiat to get more FLR tokens, but just imagine that. One of the themes that both Raul and this guy, Richard Galvin, were talking about was patience. And they both kind of always smile and they mention the retail investor and saying the biggest challenge for the retail investors has been patience on getting the better price or discount for the asset, and then patience to seeing the project deliver on its promise. It's interesting. And to me, I just think about Flare. I think about Flare right now. I don't know why. I don't know why. I'm hoping that the XRPL is going to set itself apart, become a differentiator in this space, and become one of those multi-trillion layer ones. I'm hoping. And this is probably why David has kind of, wanted to keep that ledger to do the thing that it does best. And I think the way Hydro says, yes, being involved makes a difference. And I think that as another thing, thank you, Hydro, for saying that, reminding me of that, because that was another thing that Hugo and the team emphasized early on. I mean, it seems like a small, little, simple thing, but there are some benefits to not just getting the token, but also wrapping the token. There are some benefits to that. There are some benefits to not only getting the token and wrapping the token, but delegating the token. Right? It just feels like they got this sense of active participation for FLR holders is going to be significant. Jungle says, ETH went through a rough patch finding its way after ICOs didn't work. I think XRP is going through the same thing. It will be okay. I agree. And then it's going to speak to that patience, right? It's going to speak to the patience. And then it's been a minute, right? It's going to speak to that patience. And I was just saying early in the live stream, Jungle, that I'm looking forward to reaccumulating XRP again. I really, really am. But it's going to have to, as we like to say, don't chase the game, let the game come to you. It's going to have to prove itself in the marketplace. It's going to have to prove out. It's going to have to prove out. And if Archax brings TVL, it's awesome. But that doesn't mean it's bringing customers. And that's the thing that they're going to have to figure out. They're going to have to figure out how to bring customers, right? Bring more customers. That is the deal. This is what exactly, in my opinion, what the open network did, right? You open like the not that gaming thing, that's a bunch of people on the chain using the game. A bunch of people on the chain using the game. And unfortunately, what people like to do is to say, well, that's just a gaming thing. That's just a gaming token. It's not XRP. What's the difference? Bunch of customers on the chain. A bunch of customers on the chain. That's the difference. As opposed to one customer with an asset and only accredited investors can use it. That's really the difference. I mean, you just got to go and look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. Like, there's a reason why both TON Jungle, both TON and the NOT token are both outperforming Bitcoin year to date. Both of them. And people just think it's just an accident. It's just, they got lucky. You got to look underneath the hood and find out what do they got going on there. Well, guess what Telegram has a bunch of? Telegram has a bunch of customers. They have a bunch of customers, which means they have a bunch of active users. And the NOT token, which is a gaming token on time, is just a clear example of that. Just a clear example of that. Just a clear, to me, that's the answer right there. And when I mention Hive Mapper on Solana, and I mention Devour Go on Solana, and I mention Helium Mobile on Solana, what people are missing is all three of those projects have customers using an app that's on Solana. So that is daily active users, which is network adoption of the blockchain. So what is the E8 app doing? Is the E8 app on the XRPL, is it even still a thing? Is it out there working, people using it? I don't know. But that's just another example of that Web 2 thing, by Web 3. What? Jungle says, kind of bummed out. Brad Times just blocked me on Twitter. I never attacked him and never will. Interesting. Just out of nowhere? Was it just out of nowhere? There was no back and forth? There was no mention of his channel or him on a video? That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. Now, look, you guys know how I feel about Kimes and DAI. You guys know how I feel. I'm just, especially from a content creative perspective, I just don't like what they do. But that's brutal right there, Jungle. Absolutely brutal. But this is what I'm saying. So again, just take a look at the layer one and see how they are approaching digital asset space. How are they playing the game? And again, we hear Archax, And we hear that they're bringing hundreds of millions. We hear that they're bringing hundreds of millions on chain. But are they bringing customers? And are they bringing, have they figured out a way to increase the number of people, the daily active users? Because if you get one, let's say you get 3 projects from Archax on the XRPL, and it's 300 million in TVL from these 3 companies, for example, 100 million each. What is that company bringing onto the XRPL? And this is something that 97% of the people can use that are in crypto. Or is it 97%? Do they have customers or a product that the customers are using? Like David Schwartz said, are they going to be bringing their customers on chain? The customers on chain, just like HiveMapper is doing for Solana. It's bringing its customers on the chain. It's the Web 2, Web 3 deal. Is this what Archax is going to be doing? I don't know. It's going to be fascinating to see, but David recognizes the play there. Just going to see if it's going to happen. Again, I've referenced the XRPL because I believe it was something called E8. I think it was called the number 8 and T. It was like an app for people that like to go out and eat a bunch, and they can leave reviews of where they ate on the app. And I believe that was an XRPL thing. But I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard any tracking of the numbers, and I feel like it was something that came and kind of went. They kind of phased it out. I don't remember. If anyone of you guys do, let me know. Let me Google it real quick. Let me see something. That's what we need, fam. That's what we need. We need to increase the number of active users. Let's see. It says E8. Now it says E8 blockchain. Oh, no, this is on Flare Networks, you're saying? What happened? I thought the E8 app was on the XRPL. Maybe I'm confused. Maybe I'm confused, Lawrence. I thought E8 was on the XRPL. This is feeling like this was Flare Networks. Why launching with Why launching with Flare? So there that is. Yeah, it's on Flare Networks. It's on Flare Networks. I thought it was the XRPL. Maybe I'm mistaken. Hydra says, I never heard of it. Yeah, the number 8 and T. So that's interesting, Jungle, to hear that. About maybe that wasn't like an X thing, like a mistake, X thing mistake. Sometimes they do that. And is that his right thing? That's interesting. It doesn't make any sense. And still, it looks like scams are bad. It's got the same thing. Maybe they're just going out and just blocking people. I don't know. That's weird. Let me go look here. Is that the real Dig Perspectives website? I thought Dig Perspectives had some other thing. Again, I don't know, but I mean, it looks like it's his thing. Scam's daddy says he's got blocked also. Was this Lynn Alden? I just watched this. This post jungle, was that with Lynn and on the What Bitcoin Did podcast? I think I might have been that. Let's see if maybe I could join. Maybe I'm joining the thing as well. Maybe he's just out there just. I mean, if you are, I'm sure I am. I don't know. What is this thing? Maybe they just going out and written themselves. Yep. Yep. I'm blocked too. So maybe they're just going around written themselves of some people. I don't know, but I'm blocked. I'm blocked also. Yeah, yeah. So Jungle said, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's one. Michael Marchese is in the building. What's going on, my guy? Hydro says it's weird. Yeah, well, so look, I know that I know personally for me, I have been calling out Times and I've been calling out DAI on the way they operate and the things they do for a minute. So I was expecting any day now, right? That's why, I did the videos that I did. I called him out for cursing out the community, called him out on a couple of things, him and DAI. So and it always speaks to me, it always speaks to the idea of if you're not willing as a content creator to have a back and forth with someone and agree to disagree, if you're just merely here to be right about a thing and think that you're right because you have a subscriber account and think that you're right because of that, there's something wrong. You got to be willing to have a back and forth, right? And so, and my main point to all of that is when Brad Kimes, made the Bearable Bull apologize to him publicly. Because the Bearable Bull, I believe the reason was because the Bearable Bull called them out way back yonder for the whole insider thing. I believe that was the reason. But the fact that they couldn't agree, they couldn't make things right privately, that an apology couldn't be accepted privately between men. The fact that Kimes asked him to apologize publicly was the reason why I went out and called out Brad Kimes for the 2 or 3 videos where he was calling people assholes and cancel culture assholes, and we just went on a cursing spree in 2 or 3 videos, which is why and then I found out about the Bearable Bull thing, right? I found out the video. I watched the video from Bearable Bull, and I'm like, Bearable Bull was apologizing, blah, 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 blah. He was apologizing in a video, and he may have jumped to conclusions. He may have gotten emotional and da-da-da-da. And in that apology video, he says, and you had asked me to apologize publicly, to put the video publicly out there, as opposed to, look, I meet you at an event. You have a little issue with what I did. We talk about it. I apologize. But that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. It had to be done publicly. That Brad Kimes thought he was this He thought he was that dude to ask someone to apologize publicly. That was it for me. That was it for me. I was like, no. Right. So I went, you can ask Keyless, you can ask Alice Yee, but you can sure ask Keyless for sure. She's been here. Pookie. I went on a little 4 to 5 video spree of just calling this dude out. But not only doing that, but having the gumption. Hold on a second. If I have it. But for having the gumption to start cursing XRP holders out. Cursing XRP holders out, right? I'm trying to see if I can find my thing because I want to find the correct verbiage that this dude was using. And I know I have it. It's just sometimes I can't read my own handwriting. But it was cancel culture, assholes, dum-dums and dipshits. I mean, it was just a barrage of stuff. And my whole point to that was that this dude thought he was bigger than the community, that he could do a live video and curse out future XRP community members and present with things like cancel culture assholes, dum-dums and dipshits. Dum-dums and dipshits. Hydro says, I remember it, Siege, right? And I had that particular thing with me. Now I can't seem to find it. Is it this one? No, but I do have it written down on a piece of paper somewhere. Of course, I have it on the video, and I have all the videos. And I have all the videos as well. But yeah, I can't find the paper. But anyway, I'll find it later. But I did some videos on that because I thought to myself, it's just not cool that he would ask the bearable bull of all people to do that. Number one. So I just started calling me out on all his BS. All his BS about we don't need developers, we got developers, and just on all his BS. I can't believe I can't find that paper. But anyway, it was like, yeah, I mean, and he did it for like 2 or 3 different videos. 2 or 3 different ones. Right. And so those two, they kind of work on this whole thing of what I call it, the good old boy network thing. Oh, so you're not good with CKJ? No, I'm not good with CKJ. Okay, I'm not good with CKJ. So you're not good with the bearable bull. Okay, I'm not good with the bearable bull. Wait a minute, who's the bearable bull? Who is the bearable bull good with? Oh, he's good with Jungle. Him and Jungle are cool. Okay, I'm not good with Jungle either. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm not good with Jungle either. That's what they do. It's the good old boy mentality, good old boy network mentality. That's what those two dudes do. And I've called them out on it. I've called them out on it. Called them out on things like that. I've called them out on, as a content creator, not acknowledging your community. Like you get DAI, get on Twitter, and he'll post stuff, and he will absolutely not respond to any of the people that respond to his post, both on YouTube and on X. So just think about that, especially from a content creator perspective. You not taking the time to acknowledge people who have taken the time to acknowledge you. And I still get people on X and in my YouTube comments who defend him. Well, so many comments, he probably just doesn't have. It's unbelievable to me that people don't value themselves enough to try to validate his lack of acknowledging the people who subscribe to his channel. Alarming. Absolutely alarming to me. It's going to bother me that I can't find that paper, but I know I do have it. I know I do have it. I'll have to find it later. But anyway, because I wrote all the stuff down. I wrote everything down. I have every video saved because I thought it was unacceptable that someone would think that it's okay to call XRP community dum-dums and dipshits and cancel culture assholes. Just to name a few. Again, I can't find the other stuff. So maybe he has finally kind of gotten word about what's happened, but I don't think you haven't done any of that. You haven't done any of that. But maybe it's because you show up on my channel, on my live stream, as to why you're blocked. Again, it's a good old boy network kind of thing. That's what it is. But again, who are you to ask someone in other words, my apology to you is not good enough. You got to make a video and do the video and make publicly do it. Really? We're here. We're right here now. And you're suggesting that my apology to you face to face or over the phone is not enough for you? Now, I know a lot of people speculated, well, that was probably some kind of caveat to being on, I don't know, on the stage at XRP Las Vegas or something like that. But that's a lot of nerve right there, bro. That's a lot of nerve. So yeah, so that's what I have been doing. I have so I've been waiting for I was shocked every day I went on Twitter that I wasn't blocked. And I promise you, let's see if well, I don't know. He probably did the same thing as well. Let's see. What is it called? Digital asset investor. I don't even know the name. Yep, there it is. Digital asset investor as well. Block me as well. So again, when you're not adult enough to be willing to have a back and forth, that says everything. Right? That says everything, doesn't it? That's what I speak to. That's what I was talking about. I've said this on this channel, I don't know how many times. I said Jungle and I have had disagreements back and forth publicly on X. Neither one of us has blocked each other. Neither one has blocked each other. Neither of us have gone to the point of being rude or becoming an asshole publicly on X. None of us has done that. What they can't do is have a back and forth in which people disagree with them publicly because they think because of their subscriber count that they're bigger than that. Under the guise of being negative, under the cover of cancel culture, under the cover of Twitter police. And then they use that to manipulate their audiences to join quote unquote freedom zones. Where I have evidence of it's not a freedom zone. I have actual evidence that it's, if you disagree or voice some concerns or disagreements, you are immediately kicked out of the freedom zone. Immediately, without question. That would be like someone joining my Patreon and saying, well, this DeFi thing that you were showing me wasn't right. You know, it didn't work. And I don't respond to that. I just cancel your membership. That's why I call it on the chime all the time. I say it's the not so free freedom zone, because that's what happened to a person. Jungle says, I'm usually wrong too. It's okay, right? Keela says, Jungle, Ari, you all have disagreed on points, but I've never seen anything like this. But that's normal. That's what adults do. This other blocking or shunning stuff is very strange and childish. It is very strange. It is very childish. It's massively narcissistic, for sure. And it's a problem when it's a platform that is exposed where a lot of XRP holders are exposed to. Then it becomes a problem. This becomes a problem. But in the end, the truth of it all will come to, I mean, people are adults. They'll begin to do more adulting and realize that there are people who claiming to be adults in the room are just really children who are not willing to have an intelligent adult back and forth publicly. I'm just going to hide behind cancel culture and the Twitter police. I'm just going to have, I just saw, who is Moon Chasers guy? What is his name? Mine as Wells. I just saw a poll from Mine as Wells saying that someone claiming he's the Twitter police person. I just saw some posts. He said something like being the Twitter police person that I am, or something like that. So, you know, this whole idea with that is, this is what they have become. Kind of, it is what it is. I've always acknowledged DAI's work ethic, right? Because the dude puts in work. And I've always challenged the content creator perspective, right? Like, dude, from a content creator perspective, you're not acknowledging the people in your comments, right? That kind of thing. You know, his politics and all that stuff doesn't bother me. It's more of that. And obviously it's more of, oh, you're not good with someone, I'm not good with. It's that thing as well. So it's important. Yeah, heck yeah, Aaron and I went back and forth. It's okay. Exactly. I mean, that's going to happen. Eddie and I went back and forth on one thing one time before as well. I mean, it's going to happen. But the whole thing with the bearable bull really upset me. Obviously the cursing and, you know, doing that and feeling like he was better than the community, that he would be able to, you know, call people dumb and dipshits and cancel culture assholes, and felt like it was okay. He felt like it was okay to do that, is beyond me. And not just in one video, 2 or 3 videos. And I've checked occasionally to see if he's even taken down the videos. And I don't know if he has or not, but someone asked me, when were you going to stop calling out? When were you going to stop calling out Brad Kimes? I said, when he takes down the videos, or he makes the video that he asked the bearable bull to make. He keeps claiming when he's wrong, he'll make the video. Make that video apologizing to the community for calling people dumb-dumbs and dipshits, and cancel culture assholes, just to name a few of the things that was said. Take that video. I mean, make that video. And then go on to blame the community for having some made up date for when the ledger was going to become the next level thing and the banks were going to be using it and all these partnerships. Blame the community for coming up with a made up date. A made up date. Again, both of them are leaning into it, blaming the community for stuff. Both of them. And yeah, I called them out because I know exactly what happened. They backed themselves up into a corner that they didn't like the way it looked. Backed themselves up into this corner, Keyless, and they didn't like the way it looked. So they started taking it out on the community. That's what happened. That's what happened. And it feels like neither one of them will man up and have an adult conversation about it. That's what it feels like. That's what, the next thing is probably trying to do some, legal thing. I'm insulted, my character, trying to pull some of that legal stuff. That's probably the next thing. Because when you can't act like an adult, that's what you do. So it's kind of where it is. Again, I listened to that video and I was thinking, okay, cool. When the Bearable Bull video, I was like, all right, cool. I mean, because I remember the Bearable Bull video. I remember the Alex Cobb video, and it was all around that, content creators going to Swell, coming back from Swell, and next thing you know, they got this thing they're pitching about inside information. It was called the Insiders, and so the Insider is something, and it was just a really bad marketing thing, right? It was just the way they came across marketing and pushing it was brutal, right? And I said that. I said it's not, they don't have an inside thing. It was just bad marketing. They didn't really mean to be, they got some inside information, right? So I was defending them, right? But Alex Cobb wasn't. Alex Cobb wasn't defending them, right? Alex Cobb was upset. This is years ago, Jungle, years ago. Alex Cobb was upset. The Bearable Bull was upset. I remember it like it was yesterday. They were upset. And they got a YouTube channel. So they express how upset they were on the YouTube channel. And I'll never forget DAI's response to Alex Cobb. I'll never forget it. I was like, I remember thinking, really, dude? Because for me, it was a grown man responding to a teenager. That's what it felt like to me. A grown man responding to something a teenager did or a teenager said. That's what it felt like to me. I'm like, really, dude? Like, it just did, here's this guy almost 40 or over 40, I don't know at the time. and Cobb just felt like a teenager dude to me. I don't know, 17, 18, 19. It just felt like a young kid to me. That's what it felt like to me. I don't know how long ago that was. I don't know how long ago it was, but that's what it felt. And DAI was, I have never done anything to Alex Cobb, and I have never, and him using my name. It just felt like, really, dude? You don't see that that's a no 18, 19-year-old kid over there? That's what I was saying. Like, so what? So what? He said something about so what? And he used your name. Like, I don't know. That's what it felt like to me. And people in the comments, because I did a video about it, people in the comments was like, Alex Cobb, I don't care. He's 18, he's an adult. He can take his wing, take his lookings like anybody else. And I was just commenting on, it felt like an adult responding to a child. That's what it felt like to me. That's what it felt like to me anyway. Keela says, one of your videos you did, I think, on this, Siege. Oh, that's one of my videos? And again, I'm gonna try and see if I can copy it or something. Let's see. That's what it felt like. But so in any case. No. Hydro says, I remember Siege. You remember back then with that? with Cobbs and DIA. You remember the DIA video? I was just so shocked. I was like, why is DAI, he was acting like Cobb. Cobb's 18, 17, 18, 19. I don't know how old it was. It just seemed odd to me. It seems weird. But that's kind of how I saw it. It just seemed weird. And it's funny too, because I think they get away with this. It says, all right, Kilos, was that my video? Because it's saying that video isn't available. Was that the video I did? Kilos? Because it's saying it's not available. Why would my own video not be available? Oh, Cobb. Yes, you do remember Hydro. Huh. And did you play the video? I don't know how long ago that was. Did you play it, Keyless? Because it's saying it's not it says yes, plays fine for you. Oh, okay. That's odd. That's very strange. Well, I'll see if I can't find it. Let me copy that title because I don't remember. Well, good. As long as people can play it. The title is Ripple's slant XRP, Ripple's huge acquisition, and this behavior is unacceptable. Okay. Yeah, that's weird. Why I wouldn't be able to play my own video. Strange. Yeah, I remember Kung Fu Nerd, Jungle. I remember Kung Fu Nerd. Hygo said, yes, it was weird. It was weird then and it's weird now. Yeah, that was just a strange back and forth thing. So maybe maybe they've been, kind of strategizing together, figuring out kind of stuff. Hydro says Kimes is the bully. Yeah. He's a wannabe bully. He's a wannabe bully. So I just if anything, he's a wannabe bully. But yeah, that's just I hope the video still plays. I mean, I don't need to watch the video, obviously, keyless, but hopefully people can go watch the video. It says Ripple slant XRP, Ripple's huge acquisition, and this behavior is unacceptable. Guys, let me know if you can watch that video. Let me know if you can watch it, because that would be super, super cool. Guys, do me a favor and hit the like button. That'd be awesome, awesome, awesome. And again, think about this for a second. You block Jungle Inc. I mean, come on. I mean, uh, I guess Crypto Eddie will be showing her block thing on X too, huh? I guess Crypto Eddie will probably be showing her thing as well. But I mean, come on, you're blocking Jungle Inc. You know, you're making the Bearable Bull do public apology videos. It's just, uh, I mean, that's just, it's just. Listen, the truth is going to come out, right? Of who these people are. The truth will come out, and ultimately, I think that the community will just understand it is what it is, right? The community will understand. They'll make their own decisions, right? You know, I've had people message me privately, about those dudes, so it is what it is, right? And I think people will, yeah, people are adults and they kind of figure stuff out. You know what I mean? They just kind of figure stuff out. This is why I say all the time, it's not enough to be an investor in this space and just come here to be hoped up. That is not enough. If you're wanting to win here, like if you're wanting to win, if you're wanting to create wealth, if you want to create financial wealth and generational wealth for you and your family, being hoped up is not enough. So I'm sorry that happened to you, Jungle. I really am. But I was expecting it. I was like, I was like, I know it's coming any day now. I can't wait to tell Miss Crypto Siege about it, because the one thing I use a lot for barometer, for test, is what the women say. It's always been a good barometer, a good litmus test for me, is what the women say. It's just always been a great test for me. It's like, am I going off in the wrong direction, or am I right on target? And the women ladies just got that thing. They just got that gut thing. They got that little gut thing. They can just discern. I think it's that little thing that God gives them on protecting, right? They got that thing, that sense of BS, that sense of danger, right? Right. They got that thing. I don't know what it is. I call it intuition, but they got that thing. And I always use that. I always use that. My barometer. So yeah, again, Jungle, sorry that happened to you, bro. Sorry to. I just find it interesting too that people say 2 hours, man, those videos, that's too long. Not the only time for me, not for sure. It's not the only time for me. No way. I value that. So it's interesting. I mean, you Blanc and Jungle Inc. Really, dude? Like, I'm gonna have fun with this. Let's see. Oh yeah, I already checked. Digital Asset Investor did it too. Now it's probably for, preparing for some, again, can't have the adult conversation. Can't have that. Can't be an adult and say, hey, let's have a conversation. Why did you say this? Or why did you do that? Can't do that. But again, if X is this thing for some freedom thing, and you're a content creator, as a content creator, you can't handle a back and forth. You're going to run behind cancel culture and make posts about negativity. Oh, wait a minute. That's too negative for me. That's just not an adult thing at all. Fat Tony says you're not missing anything except promo code. Panos is blocked too. Panos says, welcome to the club. Oh, wow. The XRP Don says, ha, that shill king has the thinnest skin of them all. Why does it suck? You must not have bought what he was trying to sell you. And here Scams says twinsies. So I guess Scams is blocked too, I guess. So trust me, this was something coordinated. I wouldn't put it by them at all. They kind of coordinated that thing. Vandal Crypto says, what the hell? I thought Dig Perspectives is an adult. John says, if you say something that they don't agree, they block you. Oh, man. What? That's that? That's something else. Let me see something here. Let me see if I can't. I think I might have done something. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. So this is one of the things that I was saying. So just got to understand, it's not, sir, please don't take that personal at all, Jungle. So this is one thing that I saw here. I have been a subscriber to this channel, Digital Perspectives, since the live stream days and have not missed a video. Have not missed a video. I also was a member of the Insiders Telegram group and the new Freedom Zone Patreon since it started. Since it started. Yesterday, I made my first critical comment on a video in the Freedom Zone about my frustration. My frustration. Like, I get people in the comments of my videos that say, dude, 2 hours? Come on, bro. 2 hours? I ain't got no 2 hours, bro. Can you get back to the 15, 20 minutes? So should I now, I don't know, block them from watching my videos? So anyway, yesterday I made my first critical comment on a video in the Freedom Zone, and the thing that they're paying for. about my frustration of Brad's 3 to 5 minutes of commercials before each video. And the overpriced, in my opinion, parentheses, Las Vegas hype party while the price of XRP goes back into the gutter. Where you going? Okay. While the price of XRP goes back into the gutter. So this is clearly about, we missed the 2020 and 2021 bull run. We probably held all the way up and through the 2017, 28 thing. I'm a little frustrated. That's probably what that was about, right? I mean, I don't know, but probably. So Las Vegas hype party while the price of XRP goes back into the gutter. Not happy about the price to go to Las Vegas hype party, whatever that was. So I'm sure that I'm not the only one who shares this frustration. I'm not. You're not, because, you're not. To my surprise, think about this. To my surprise, with no reply, so they made a comment in the Freedom Zone. They made a comment in the Freedom Zone. With no reply, I was blocked from the Freedom Zone Patreon. So much for freedom on speech. I'm definitely not a troll that Brad speaks about and really enjoy the content. But I've got to say, this really surprised me. The irony. That's feels like a fair assessment of what happens. Feels like a fair assessment of what happens. Oh, I don't know if they blocked area or not. I don't know. I said probably Lawrence Williams. I don't know. I said probably they did, but I don't know. Remind me what he called the XRP army. The XRP army. I'd like to do some searches. Who you talking about? Brad Kimes? They talking about the DA? Brad Kimes, Digital Perspective. Now I heard also at one point. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that I heard that they did like a lawsuit and something with Cobb, Alice Cobb. I don't know if it's true or not. Well, he used the phrase just a couple, cancel culture assholes, you dumb and dipshits, things like that. And again, I have to find all of them, but it was like 4, 5, 6 very demeaning, degrading, not great stuff. Yeah. That was not great. And it was in 2 or 3 different videos. Yeah, I really do hope that my video is still playing. I really do. But, you can get away with stuff, right? Because what happens is if you run a video and then you don't mention people, like, so you run a channel and you never mention someone's name. I think it was defamation of character. It was the thing that they did with Cobb. I think it was defamation of character, one of those kind of things. But so you run a channel and you use cancel culture, assholes, and dipshits and dum-dums and things like that. But since you're not using a name, you feel like, okay, well, legally, you know, I don't have to worry about a defamation thing because I didn't use any name. I didn't specify any particular person. But in the end, here's what it doesn't really matter. If you're not an adult enough to have a back and forth about something that you think is A and the other person thinks B, just like the example I showed you there. Person is expressing something and you disagree. And the ultimate and the immediate and the first thing is to block them, kick them out of a freedom zone, which they were paying for, things like that. That says to me that you're not an adult enough to have a conversation, a back and forth. That says to me that you think that you're better than the community that you're serving. The community that you're serving, not a BTC Maxi. The community, the person said they have not missed a video, was a member of the Telegram group, was a member of the not so free freedom zone. That's a community member. Am I right or am I right? Let me know in the chat. Am I right or am I right? That's a valued community member. And if you think that way about a valued community member, what do you think about the XRP Army community that is not and has not watched every single one of your videos and has not been part of your Telegram group and has not been a Freedom Zone member? What do you think about them and their opposing views? Especially as a content creator. We open up the computer, turn on the microphone and the lights. We're a content creator. I've had people disagree with me on my videos and my comments, and I've responded to the comments. Not block them so they can't comment on videos anymore. And then you throw on top of that, Keyless, you throw on top of that, you're going to make a dude apologize publicly? You're going to make a dude apologize publicly. So a text message or a DM on X ain't enough? A conversation man to man, mano y mano is not enough? I know we're going to say, well, you call me out publicly. That's fair. Well, you called out the community publicly. You cursed the community out publicly. Where's your public video? Apologizing for doing that. I ask you, Brad Kimes, where is that video? Where's that video? We'll see. We'll see. I feel bad for Jungle because Jungle feels like, like the bottom's a little bit because he feels like he's not, Jungle has not done what I've done in calling out Brad Kimes and DAI. He hasn't done that. And I'm mainly calling DA out from the content creator perspective of, dude, people are taking their time, energy, and resources to respond to your videos. Like Gary Vaynerchuk would be, you cause that guy to go into, I don't know. Right? Gary Vaynerchuk would be like, dude, bro, what's going on right now? You're a content creator. You're not acknowledging. I mean, you know what I mean? You're not acknowledging people in your comments. I get it. I get it. You get 3, 4, 5 days a week, 2 weeks behind. I get it. I get behind. I get behind too. I get behind too. And I'm not saying I respond to everyone, but I respond to the vast majority of them. I know that. This is one of your tweets on this. Oh, I tweeted about it? Okay, cool. I remember that tirade about you, Jungle, as a matter of fact. Jungle says, even if I did, we've known each other long enough to not block. What does that say here? To not block. To not block. To not block. Brad did a tirade about me and I ignored it. I remember it. Quite honestly, I remember when he did that. And I remember it couldn't have been 2 weeks later. You were saying something kind about Brad in a video and DAI. I remember it. I do. I remember it. But in the end, you got to get that you got to get the differentiator there between adults, content creators, and responsible content creators. Because there's always a shot, and I get it, right? I mean, I get it. There's just, I've been the head of multi-million-dollar businesses, right? So right, everybody's looking at you, right? I get it. But there's this thing where you got to understand that you're not above the community that you serve. I heard this dude, Brad Kimes, literally say in a video that perhaps the reason why, and he was most likely talking about Eddie, but perhaps the reason why Eddie is saying this is because I outpaced her in subscribers. I outdid her in subscribers. He intimated that, and I'm paraphrasing, but he intimated that the reason for the disagreement or opposing view was because he had more subscribers than the person with the opposing view. Just think about that. Yeah, we've known each other. Yeah, I mean, to me, that just really just says it all. Jungle says, even if I did, we've known each other long enough to not block. Brad did a tirade about me and I just ignored it. You just, you got to be able to, one, ignore it, or two, to have a back and forth about it and just agree to disagree. Even if it can get nasty. I had a back and forth with Matt Hamilton one time about some stuff, and he can get close to being nasty, calling people names. But I didn't block him; he didn't block me. Just agree to disagree. I had a back and forth with one of these former SEC attorneys. I forget what. I don't think it was Mark Fago. I think it was another one. I can't remember his name right now, but that was heated. That was heated. I think that got heated, but we didn't block each other. I mean, I would say that was probably the most heated back and forth that I've had. I didn't block him. Why? Why should I block him? Because he disagrees with something I say? Just doesn't it doesn't make sense. It's just not adulting at all. It's not adulting at all. That's why I keep saying there's supposed adult in the room when I tweet, because it's just not. Barbie's in the building. How are you, miss? XRP has had so much drama since day one. It has pushed many over the edge. OMG. I thought these people were more mature than that. What did I just tell you guys about the ladies and that, that little intuition thing, right? I thought these people were more mature than that. Well, I sure hope Jungle just keeps on doing what he's doing. Of course he is. Of course he will. Of course it will. And when you're doing your thing and you're on that journey and you're on your journey up into the right, on occasion, you're gonna get a body blow. On occasion, it's gonna happen. You're gonna get a body blow. I wish someone could confirm whether or not Cobb got that defamation. I don't know if it's a suit, a letter, but I kind of could swear I heard that in the community. There was a little defamation thing or something like that. And I talk about the fact that they backed themselves up into a corner and they didn't like the way it looked. And so, especially times, and just kind of took it out on the community. Well, that's just not cool. No content creator is bigger than the community. I don't care if you're running 3 events. You're not bigger than the community. I don't care how many awards you get from the digital chamber digital. What is it called? It's called the digital chamber now, I think. What does that have to do with it? It's service to the community, bro. That's the number one thing. It's not your ego. It ain't about you, right? You got to read the book. First sentence. First sentence. It's not about you. How many know that book? Let me know if you know the book. Or the first sentence in the book is, it's not about you. Let me know. Right? So it's kind of where that is, It's just look, and we need this kind of thing. Personally, we need this kind of thing, right? Because in order to be made whole, right, you got to discover some stuff, right? In order to be made whole, you got to figure out the gaps, the holes in your thing, in your armor, right? So as a community, especially with this whole idea of what they're looking to do with this new foundation, stuff like that. Oh, Johnny Mag's in the building. How are you? Says, Barbie told me about your channel, by the way. LOL. Well, thank you. Look at that. Appreciate that, Barb. Welcome to the channel, bro. So, it's unfortunate, but do you really think it's a coincidence that Digital Perspectives and DAI blocked me on the same day and blocked Jungle on the same day? I don't know who else. You think that's a coincidence? If I was to put my lawyer hat on, I bet it's a way, this like trying to cover themselves for some stuff going forward. That would be my guess. That would be my guess. Yeah, because I think there's something there too about using people's names in your video or something like, some things like that. And people try to hide behind that and say, oh, it's defamation of my character and I got this thing in. in the end, it's people's inability to be adults and, do the adulting thing. In the end, that's it. Because, I mean, for me, I've always thought, content creator first. I mean, you open up the laptop and turn on the microphone and your camera and all that. Content creator. You're a content creator. Some people say they like to use this influencer thing, right? You're producing content, especially if you're doing live streams. How are you going to do a live stream? How are you going to do a live stream and not be able to take people coming in, trolling and doing other stuff? What are you going to do? It's a live stream. It's going to happen. You got to be more thick-skinned than that, right? Just that kind of stuff is going to happen. You got, for me, the ultimate goal is serve the community. All the other stuff will take care of itself. And I saw Jungle was a little surprised that Kimes had asked the Bearable Bull to do an apology, quote unquote, or, do this apology in a public thing. And I don't know if it's because, well, you attacked me publicly, or I don't know if it's because, well, if you want to come on this stage and at XRP Las Vegas, this is what you got to do. I don't know what it was. But soon as I heard the phrase, and you had asked me to do this on X or do this on public, something like that, and you had asked me to, that was it for me. Oh, and I remember Keyless. I remember because I showed it, and Kimes' response was, apology accepted, or something like that. So, and that was it. Apology accepted, or something like that. And I remember thinking, this dude just took 2 or 3 minutes of his video to apologize and accept, the mistake that he had made of being, being emotional or over emotional, responding to that thing that happened years and years ago, owning up to it in a video publicly on both his YouTube channel and on X. That's a dude. That's a real dude. That's what real dudes do. Own up to a mistake. Own up to it. That's a real dude. What's not a real dude is hiding behind cancel culture and Twitter police and, negative, negative. Literally posting Les Brown motivational speak as don't want to be around those negative people. Come on, bro. Really? This is one of your tweets on this. I wonder which tweet this is, Keyless. Is this me saying there's supposed adult in the room tweet? Oh, man. Let's see. Let's see if I can get this to work. I don't know why, for some reason, when I copy from the live chats, what the freak? This page, what the? Keyless, I don't know why my stuff. There's another time that it didn't work. Why does it keep saying the page is not found? What's going on? Anything that I'm getting from you is saying the page is not found. Did they take it off? They probably took it off. That's so strange. Yep, I can't. There's another thing I can't see. Barbie says, smash the likes, please. for Siege now. Thank you, Barbie. Appreciate that. Barbie says, Siege rocks, keep it real. Same with Jungle. Appreciate both of their channels for those very facts. So thank you, Barbie. Appreciate that. Keela says, no, it's there. What is going on where I can't show my own stuff? What's going on? Is it because of my VPN? It's still very strange. Very strange. Let me try. I'll try to find it. How far back was it, Keyless? How far back? I'll just scroll down and try to find it. Oh. Do you remember the date of it? Says, yeah, I have a very weird energy in tech. It's probably me. LOL. I gotcha. Yeah, it's so weird. My YouTube said I couldn't play it. Oh, no. Yeah, I'm on iOS. This is a Mac. It's a Mac. It's a Mac. This is my first, well, I used to have iPhones way back yonder. But in any case, this is kind of, yeah, if you could find the data, it'll help me scrolling through. Because I know that was a while ago that I made a post about that. But as long as you leave the links, I'm sure other people can click on it and see it. And also that video. I highly recommend people watch that video also. Oh, iOS is very restrictive and weird. Yeah, and that might be it. Yeah, that might be it. That might be a killer. That might exactly be it. Yes, they are very weird with that stuff. Huh. 5:56 on March the 25th. 1,630 views. Really? I don't even know what I did. 1,630 views. Really? Okay. Oh, I gotcha. The 3 arrow thing, right? I never I wish I could just search and find it, but I don't know how to search on X. Like, how do you search on X for your own stuff? I have no clue. I know there's a way to do it, but I have no clue how to do it. So weird. So anyway, that's kind of where it is with that type of deal. It's a shame. It really is a shame that you can't have a back and forth. It's a shame that, two dudes can't get together and agree to disagree on different things. That's a shame, especially with Jungle and I think and Brad, right? Because again, he had not been calling out the way I had been calling out Brad Kimes. And again, it was because of what he had did to the bearable bull, which I just think is just like, really? So you think you're all that to do that? And then, it was kind of in the same time frame of the person people out in the video. My guess is those videos, I'll check later, but I'm because I do have those videos where he did do that. My guess is he took those down. Hold on a second. Hey, what's up? I am still live. Yeah, I've gotten to a real crazy thing. Where are you? Oh yeah, got a big deal coming up with Jungle and Brad Kimes and me being blocked on X. So we're talking about that. Yeah. All right. I'll see you when we get here. Bye. That was Miss Crypto Siege. Right. And so Kilos will probably also remember the videos that I did where I questioned the people. I don't want to use the word call out, where I questioned the people who questioned XRP Las Vegas. And they questioned why do we, what's up with this XRP Las Vegas thing? We don't need an XRP Las Vegas. Why do you got, right? I did a video about that saying, no, that's a big time value add to the community. All right, I think I'm finding it. You said it was March 20 something. I'm on March. I think it's coming up. 25th. I love seeing John Deaton in his hat he's got on this ship, by the ship. It was in a naval yard somewhere. He had a hat on. That was really cool seeing that. All right, let me see. Oh, there it is right there. There it is. Yeah, thanks, Keyless. You're freaking super awesome. Super awesome. All right, let's share this. No, I don't want. Yeah, I want to go here. I found the post. I can't believe I found it. Bitcoin to 61K. What's good? Leo Messi. Copy and paste this in the search bar in Twitter. Give me a second. Okay, I found it. Leo Messi with some good news right there, Jungle. 61K for BTC. Yeah. Well, I snatched it up a couple of times, 54. A couple of times below 60, I snatched up some BTC. Here it is right here. Here was my post. Here's my post here. Okay, let's see. Let's do this. Yeah, here it is right here. So yeah. So here's my post. And these words that I use here in quotations are from the video that Kimes did. It says interesting post from someone I have mad respect for in Bearable Bull. Digital Perspectives asking you to do this on X is massively ballsy, considering he has yet to apologize to the XRP community for publicly calling them losers, bottom feeders, and assholes, and kicking people out of the freedom zone. Madness. Oh, it says right here, a certain amount of views. So there it is right there. So, yeah. I was just alarmed. I was listening to the Bearable Bull. And I was like, whoa, that's interesting. That's an interesting video to do. Then next I see it's on X as well. Or maybe it was the first, maybe it was the other way around. Maybe it was X and then YouTube. I watched it. But in any case, there it is. There's my post. Glad you found it. For some reason, the keyword search for some reason suddenly stopped working. Gotcha. 61K for BTC. What the world? What the world? All right, so that's interesting. So maybe that's kind of it. That's kind of it. Maybe we're done with this BTC below 60 stuff, I think. Well, I waited 2 days. You know, I said I was going to get some BTC. It wasn't a whole lot. Said I was going to get some at 57, 58, 59. Didn't get my third or fourth purchase below 60. I didn't get it because it's at 61K right now. Holy smokos. Hydro says profile. What do you mean by that? Profile, Hydro. So there it is, fam. Listen, I feel bad for Jungle, but again, I really, really do. But it's going to make you stronger, bro. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to make your channel stronger. It's going to make, you got to be careful with that kind of stuff. Got to be really, 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 really careful. So, you know, I'm still holding the one thing. I still got one thing that I'm holding. The ace in the pocket here. Still got one thing. I want to see what these two guys got figured out. I want to see. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Because I got this one thing I'm still holding. Still holding it because I know how it works. I know how business works. I know how marketing works. I know how sales work. So I still got this one thing in the pocket. We'll see. Couldn't find anything on Cobb and defamation during my search. I noticed Alex is live tracking XRP price pump. Cobb is always doing these live streams on the price pumps, man. He's funny. He is funny, for sure. But I do think that Cobb back then on the insider thing, I feel like he was 18 or 19 years old. He might have been 20. But I felt like he was 18 or 19 years old for that. So there it is, fam. Look, it's been 3 hours. We've been hanging out for 3 hours. I got my members of the community going to be upset with me right now. The dude was like, bro, 2 hours? Come on, bro. 2 hours? I enjoy the live stream, though. I really do. I really do enjoy the live streams for sure. It's always a good hang. I appreciate you guys hitting that like button for sure. That would be super, super cool. It definitely helps with getting the channel out to more people for sure. And if you happen to be hanging out, watching and listening and watching Crypto Seeds and you have enjoyed those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, baby, so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. Leo and Keyless, Hydro, I appreciate you guys checking in. Barbie, appreciate you being here, miss. Johnny Mac Sachs, I appreciate you coming. Welcome to the channel, my dude. Jungle Link, as always, bro, I appreciate you. Lawrence Williams in the building. Appreciate you checking in, my guy. Make sure I get everyone. This Poots, I don't know, this Fuentes MJ7. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Who else? Chris Miles, thanks for checking in, bro. Joe Buddy. Appreciate you checking in, brother. Co-creator Rod, my dude from Hawaii. I appreciate you checking in. Kyle T. Moore, move accordingly. I appreciate you guys checking in for sure. Colin Hughes, A. Joseph C. I miss you checking in. I appreciate you checking in, brother. Jay Korn, Byron Lewis. Jay Korn is the OG. Jay Korn is an OG to the channel for sure. Appreciate you guys checking in. Mr. XRP all in. Hope our boys do well this year. Appreciate you checking in. Pookie, as always, appreciate you checking in. I'm going to end this live stream, fam, like I do all my live streams, and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though. Because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this, perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.